It is the year 2012 in Chernobyl, Ukraine. Piercing through a stormy, thunderous night, a truck speeds down a desolate road. The following day, a man approached the point of accident. As he scavenged items he could make use of, to his surprise, found a man who was still breathing.
Let's go and see what value Sidorovich will put on your head.
He then hastily brought the survivor to a trader.
What have you got?
A body. It came from the death truck. It's got the mark.
Well, you know the drill. Leave him on
This is a live one.
Bullshit! You are lying!
Let the zone take me if I am.
Put it here! I think for this one, I can give you.
April 26 of 1986. One of history's most unforgettable events occurred in Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear power plant. The nuclear plant was consisted of 4 reactors, and with an unexpected power surge from the 4th reactor, it blew up. As the 4th reactor's roof collapsed, a catastrophic amount of radiation dispersed into the atmosphere. With the highest rating of 7 by the International Nuclear Event Scale. This accident was later known as the Chernobyl disaster. In prevention of the spreading contamination, the Soviet Union covered the 4th reactor with a concrete structure known as sarcophagus to securely seal the plant, and also ordered a 30-kilometer radius exclusion zone. And this was the birth of the zone. The zone remained preserved even after the Soviet government's fall in 1991. However, in 2006, a mysterious anomaly that directly affected human brains began to spread. This anomaly was also known as the emission. As this expanded the zone's radius, the road to the central area of the zone was destroyed. To uncover the truth behind this, the government deployed troops and researchers, but this only resulted in more casualties. And worse, those who managed to escape from the calamity accounted only reports of countless anomalies and hideous mutants. Despite this tragedy, however, there were some who willingly entered deeper into the zone. The looters who lived off of abandoned military supplies and scraps. These looters encountered a bizarre creation of radioactivity that could not be explained by modern science. The artifacts. These artifacts became assets of great research value, along with body parts of the radiated mutants. And these assets were traded at high prices in black markets. Upon the news that the zone might be the Soviet El Dorado, many gathered with hopes and dreams, risking their lives in the cataclysmic environment. And these perilous dream chasers were called the Stalkers. The population of Stalkers increased by day, and different factions were formed among them. The Ukrainian military and the ecologists that were sent by the government. Those who fought to contain the mutants and artifacts in the zone called themselves the Duty. The faction that advocated mankind's utilization of the zone's scientific marvels, the Freedom. A collective of raiders and marauders, the Bandits. those who did just about anything for the right price, the mercenaries. And lastly, the free nomads, who refused any affiliation with other factions, were called the loners. Many factions such as these headed to deadly battles to achieve their respective goals in the zone. Then one day, the zone was intruded by an intriguing rumor. The tale of the Wish Granter. The one who reached the mysterious monolith, buried deep past the sarcophagus, will be granted money, power, fame, or any wish of any man's deepest desire. Mesmerized by this story, many stalkers set out to the center of the zone. But to their dismay, they were only fatally greeted by clusters of emissions, swarms of zombies and mutants of suspicious volumes, and a heavily armed cult of mysterious origin. These stalkers were left with only two options: to return with damaged souls or death. While various factions engaged in skirmishes and wars within the zone in 2012, the survivor from the death trap, the one with the Stalker tattoo, finally rose from his coma. With no recollection of any memories, the Stalker woke up. With nothing but an old PDA in his possession, the PDA provided only one clue: killed the Strelok. In reference to the mark on the survivor's arm, Sidorovich the traitor called the man the Marked One.
So, Marked One, I saved you, and I'm not going to pretend I did it to win favors upstairs.
Sidorovich demanded him to take on his jobs in return for information. The first job was to retrieve data from the missing agent named Nimble. So the Marked One joined forces with fellow loners. With his exceptional combat skills, the Marked One wiped down the kidnappers and successfully retrieved the flash drive from Nimble, who kept it in a secret stash. After the job was done,
So you're back.
Sidorovich told him what he knew about Strelok. This Strelok fellow was a legend among stalkers, as he was the only one who had made it to the center of the zone. He also advised that retrieving a document in the Agroprom Research Institute and providing that to a barkeep in a bar named 100 Rats would help him get more information.
Well, good hunting, Stalker.
So the protagonist's pursuit for Strelok began. But the military who shot anyone in sight. Hostile gangs of bandits. Abominable mutants. And countless anomalies. In Chernobyl, living to see another day was a great challenge. So the Marked One relied on his instinctive combat skills to make himself a living by completing quests. As he roamed the areas of the zone, he geared up and found artifacts that could aid his journey. So within the ranks of many experienced stalkers, he was able to make a reputation as an experienced rookie. After preparing himself for what lies ahead, Marked One enters the Agroprom to retrieve the document. A stalker group was under attack by the Ukrainian military. As the military was well trained and well armed, Marked One initially wanted to avoid conflict, but he was not cruel enough to ignore the stalker's scream for help. So he entered the fray. Within the intense skirmish, the Marked One took down the soldiers one by one, as he restocked on equipment from his dead opponents. He was like a beast of the battlefield. After taking on the task force that came later, he succeeded in rescuing a stalker named Mole. Mole knew the location of Strelok's secret stash and guided Marked One to an entrance to a sewer. So Marked One took determined steps down into the sewer. Pitch black darkness, faint creaks from the emergency light. In this dark, eerie sewer, Mark I carefully made his steps. Oh! God damn, my balls. So, by defeating the mutant called the Bloodsucker, and this controller shooting a bootleg Hadouken, the Mark I reached the sacred stash. He cocked his gun and climbed to find Strelok. But there was no one there. As Mark I searched for clues, he found out about the members of Strelok's group, whom were known as Ghost and Fang. Fang already died in Chernobyl, so Mark I decided to find the whereabouts of this ghost. After taking the group's reserve supplies, Mark I headed back out. Then he proceeded to break through the Research Institute by himself to obtain the secret document. To find this bar that Sidrovich mentioned, he went to the HQ of the duty, Rostov. In this bar, a meeting point for numerous Farron stalkers, Mark I handed Barkeep the documents. The document held information about a lab named X-18 and the experiments held there. The barkeep, a respected figure in the zone, speculated that the lab must be under the Dark Valley, and told him that this place must hold the keys to advancing north. So Mark I headed for the valley. In the midst of the night, he snuck in to take down the bandits occupying the area, to clear his entrance to the lab. Upon taking somewhat hesitant steps, he began searching. Anomalies of unknown causes, and many artifacts as common as normal stones. The Snork, capable of ripping his prey in seconds, came in packs to hunt down the Mark I. And this hideous pseudo-giant used its giant feet to create shockwaves, while its body was as sturdy as steel, taking bullets like a sponge. So in the lab that was like an assorted gift set of the zone, Mark I unwrapped his unwanted presents. As he was done with the poltergeist creating anomalies, he finally found documents that might be of clue.
Strelok.
A brief vision of his memory. But with no time to ponder, he had to leave the Institute promptly to avoid contact with the military. He arrived at the bar to bring the document. Upon reading the document, the barkeep revealed the shocking truth. The emission, what was thought of as an aftermath of the Chernobyl incident, was actually a man-made phenomenon. A strong psi emitter installed within a military installation, the Brain Scorcher, literally melted one's brains to turn the victim into zombies as only their body remained. And the laboratories that held the experiment regarding the Scorcher was Lab X-18 and Lab X-16, currently located in Lake Yantar. To find out more about the Brain Scorcher, Mark I made his way to X-16. Soon, he met the surviving researchers around Lake Yantar. The researchers told him that there's a strong psi wave coming from the lab, and gave him a prototype helmet that could provide some protection. Then they asked the Mark I to shut down the emitter. Upon investigating a dead scientist's audio log, Mark I found out that Ghost, who escorted the scientist, headed to X-16. So Mark I had no reasons to not go there. Through the waves of brainless zombies and the mutants that infested the Institute, Mark I slowly but surely made his way. As he entered the building,
Critical emissions.
he found the emitter using a live brain to create emissions. After dealing with the zombies who stood there, as if guarding the building, he succeeded in turning off the devices. And at the heart of the facility, what awaited the Mark I was Ghost, who had already died. As the researcher ran off on his own, defenseless against the emission, the veteran stalker Ghost died in vain. But the Mark I was even more shocked in finding this. Ghost's face looked exactly like Strelok's face in Ghost's PDA entry. Then another hallucination hit him.
If this is so important, why didn't you explain what you are going there for? And where did you get this photo from?
If you only knew where I've just been and what I saw.
One day you'll finish badly, Strelok. Hold on, son. You're going to make it. Where will you go now?
To the north.
The Mark I saw Strelok in his vision. But the more shocking thing to him was that the two looked so much alike. The Mark I looked through Ghost's logs and found out about a person named Doctor who helped the group. With the veteran stalker Guide's help, he arranged a meeting. To meet this doctor, he made his way to Strelok's stash.
Strelok, come on, man, wake up! Oh, that's better. You had me worried. What the hell are you doing, man? Have you lost your memory or something? You were the one who suggested that we take this precaution. Oh, well, at least you are still alive. Look, Strelok, we've got no time, so I need you to listen to me. Everything you have said about the monolith is true. All of it. It is just an illusion manufactured in a lab next to the sarcophagus. And nobody who reached the monolith has ever come back. It looks like they have died there. But anyway, while you're away, I dug up some more info. And basically, there is a decoder to open the door which leads to the monolith controls. This decoder is hidden in a stash in Pripyat. Now I'm going to give you the coordinates of this stash, and I'm giving you the key to open it. I want you to take the decoder, and I want you to find the door in the sarcophagus. And then you'll know what to do. But it seems that this is the only way of uncovering the zone's real secret. This is the one you have been trying to work out, Strelok.
The truth was unveiled. Mark I was Strelok all along. With full recovery of his memory, he slowly started remembering his past. One day, Strelok heard about the rumors of the Wish Granter. Mesmerized by the story, he set foot with Ghost and Faye to find this mysterious monolith in the center of the zone. Equipped with protection against the emission, he made it to the center of the zone. Soon, he found a mysterious door in the sarcophagus, but by no means he could open the door. And with the sudden burst of emission, caused the blowout, he returned alone, wounded. He headed to Chernobyl once more after Dr. patched him up. But as he made repeated trips to Chernobyl, some thought that he triggered the blowout. So the group of scientists, the S.T.A.L.K.E.R, blocked his path. And during an intense battle with a mercenary from S.T.A.L.K.E.R, Strelok lost his side protection gear and was swallowed by the blowout, losing his memory. Then after a year, he was found within the pile of bodies in the truck. There were still some blank spots in his memories, and Mark I thought it was time to get them back. So Mark I, Strelok, returned to see Barkeep. The Barkeep was happy to see his side protective gear and asked him to shut down the Brain Scorcher in X-19, while advising him to beware an armed cult, the faction of Monolith. So Strelok arrived in Red Forest where the Scorcher was. Accordingly, the fanatic soldiers of Monolith engaged them. Despite the Brain Scorcher's influence, they seemed unaffected by the waves, and Mark I was pressured like never before. Still, he managed to take them all down and entered the inside of the bunker to finally turn off the Brain Scorcher that limited the Stalkers in exploring the depths of the zone.
What you want is here, Stalker. Come.
The voice of the monolith called Strelok. Strelok barely managed to get out of the facility. But as Stalkers found out that the Brain Scorcher is history, many set foot to the depths of the zone. And naturally, they were engaged in a fierce battle with the monolith. So he joined forces to break through the monolith's strong defense. He made his way to Pripyat, south of Chernobyl.
You must be the marked one. Barkeep spoke of you. Let's try and break through together. I know the path to the station. Go!
Teaming up with veteran stalkers equipped with exoskeleton suits, he attempted to reach into Pripyat. To block the rush of stalkers, Monolith ambushed them in each and every corner. But this group of stalkers, veterans of veterans, easily shot the Monolith down. And within the secret stash in Pripyat that Doc mentioned, Strelok found a decoder that will open the door in the sarcophagus. Strelok parted ways with the group of stalkers, and finally Strelok arrived in Chernobyl, the heart of the zone. But as the government found out the Brain Scorcher was down, they deployed tanks and military choppers to engage in a skirmish with the monolith guarding the sarcophagus. Strelok took advantage of the situation to breach in further. But as if Chernobyl was trying to defend itself, a blowout warning was declared. So Strelok ran furiously across the battlefield and safely made it into the power plant. But within the plant, he encountered countless monolith soldiers armed with cutting-edge equipment. As he was pulled from the brink of death multiple times, Strelok used all the means he had to fight back, as the monolith continuously called out to him.
The time has come. I see your wish.
And soon, he was able to face the wish granter, and it looked glorious like no other. He had a sudden urge to make a wish upon the monolith, but reminding himself of Doctor's words that was just a hallucination, he repelled his desires to reach the mysterious door. As he used the decoder to open the door, he found more monolith soldiers who seemed to be warping in. Against the heavy fire, Strelok endured and prevailed. He entered deeper into the plant and proceeded to break the machines that created the hallucinations of the wish granter.
Hello, Strelok. I see you have many questions for me. Well, ask them, and then we can decide what to do with you.
And so, the hologram started telling the truth to Strelok. The hologram was a super consciousness of 7 scientists called the Common Consciousness. In the past, when the zone was first created, they established a secret lab. The hazardous environment was inaccessible for civilians, and the resources of the plant, as well as the infrastructure, was a perfect place for them to perform research without interruption. Their goal was to tap into a special informational field that had direct influence to people's minds, the noosphere, and gain control of it, to eliminate rage, cruelty, greed, and all the negative factors in it to mankind, to bring a communist utopia to this world. As the research continued, the Common Consciousness reached the noosphere, but as they made their first contact in 2006, it triggered a large emission of energy, creating a rift in the noosphere. As the zone was affected, many anomalies began appearing, and the animals affected began mutating. This triggered the zone to expand as well. Because of this emission, more people began learning about the zone. The sea consciousness concluded that it was too early for the truth to be revealed, and began researching a defense mechanism to repel outsiders. And this resulted in the Brain Scorcher and the Wish Granter. Using the Brain Scorcher, they were able to zombify humans and brainwash them as well, to make them into their loyal soldiers. Some may still make it to the center of the zone, but using the hallucination of the Wish Granter to alter their minds, they were able to control them as well. But in 2011, as Strelok's crew made it inside the center, the scientists were threatened. So they infiltrated their agents among the Stalkers to gain control. And for the Stalkers that they took captive, including Strelok, they brainwashed them over the year, with a mark to distinguish them from the other Stalkers, the codename Stalker. But despite their intelligence, they made one fatal mistake, assigning Strelok with a mission to kill Strelok himself. So as Strelok was being carried on the truck, he was being sent to a paradoxical mission to assassinate himself. The sea consciousness told Strelok the truth and offered him to become one with them. Strelok could have accepted and become one of the Common Consciousness, but he could not simply forgive the culprit behind all this mess.
I don't know whether I was right or wrong. I guess I'll never know. But I made it. And I guess I should be thankful for that.
But what if Strelok failed to fight off his desires and made a wish to the wish granter?
I want to be rich. I want immortality. I want the zone to disappear. Humanity is corrupt. Mankind must be controlled. I want to rule the world.